One of the most common questions I get is, what is the meta for PvP? Or how does such and such class look like in the meta? While I experiment with many different playstyles, I have to know the strongest builds that people play in Guild Wars 2 PvP to be able to play those off-meta builds. Although there are some clearly defined meta builds, Guild Wars 2 offers so much variety in playstyles and build options that there could actually be undiscovered playstyles out there that work. So while there is absolutely a defined meta of optimal builds for competition, sometimes optimal is not about success, and not everyone enjoys playing one build, which is why if you enjoy my content, you should really check out the PvP builds page on guildgen.com. For those of you who don't already know, guildgen.com is a blog-like website featuring guides, achievements, news, videos, and resources for World vs. World and PvP. While Gen, the creator of the site, has a great database for every game mode of Guild Wars 2, I am responsible for the PvP section's content. I've created PvP guides for beginners, the basic roles and how to rotate, and of course, the PvP builds page now. My focus is entirely on the PvP section, but I also collaborate with some World vs. World builds, and you should check that out too, since it is the best resource for WvW World Roaming Builds out there. So let's take a look at the PvP builds. I've organized them by class, viability, and role. If you aren't familiar with what roles are, you should check out the roles and rotations guide because it will help you to find the right place to be. But as you can see here, the meta builds are labeled by a star. You'll have one, maybe two builds that are optimal per class, but then some close to meta or even situational or off-meta builds. Generally, the off-meta builds are to provide a different role or playstyle than the meta. So as you can see, there is a power spellbreaker, a condition berserker, and then even a support warrior build. Some classes are more fit for certain roles, but generally there are at least two roles you can play into pretty well. Of course you can play any role as any class, but you can create your own build for that, since the point is to keep the list pretty concise and helpful at guiding players towards builds that most players run. When you click on any of the builds, you will get a quick little description of the build, a few tips for piloting the build, and the relative difficulty of the build. This isn't too important because any build with the right amount of practice will perform, and you should play builds you want to play, not because they're easy. Everything you need for the build is there. Just remember that your PvE gear is not relevant in PvP. Just so long as you wear anything and enable the amulet in your PvP gear, you get all the same stats. Watch the video below in the page if you need to see how it's played, and most importantly, if you're playing it for the first time, please read all of your skills and traits to see where the synergies are and test out some of the combos listed above on golems before going into the match. I cannot tell you how many people I see go in without knowing how to perform the build on golems, so how can they expect to perform it while playing Conquest and taking pressure from other players? I will be updating these builds when changes occur, so going over specifics is kind of irrelevant now, but if you do want to ask any questions about the meta or anything PvP related, you can do so in the comments below or by joining my Discord. I'll link to that in the description of this video, along with some other essential resources for learning PvP. And as always, if you'd like to support me, I would greatly appreciate it, and you can do so by checking the links in the description as well. And that is pretty much all. So guys, enjoy PvP, and I will see you all next time.